Welcome to my new video, everyone. This will be the third Half-Life video on my channel. In the others, we talked about theories related to the Half-Life game. But this time, in this third video, we'll talk directly about Half-Life 3. Why isn't Half-Life 3 coming out? Subtitle added and cartoon music. Why didn't the third game of this come out, man? In this video, you'll find answers to your questions about why Half-Life 3 actually hasn't come out all this time. If you like videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel, so without too much chit-chat, I'm getting straight to the point. To better understand the theories about why the third game hasn't come out, I first want to briefly touch on the importance of the Half-Life series for Valve. When Half-Life was first released in 1998, it had a huge impact on the gaming world. This game, which is a first-person shooter, had an unusual depth and complexity for the games of its time. The first game not only offered players a simple first-person shooter experience, but also stood out with challenging puzzles, an impressive story, and environmental interaction. This made Half-Life a groundbreaking production in the gaming industry. At the same time, Half-Life offered the linear gaming experience to players in a different way by using an innovative game design in the gaming world. Instead of giving the story directly to the player, Half-Life aimed for the person to naturally become involved in the story while exploring the game world. In terms of story, Half-Life presented players with a complex and deep narrative, showing that games could become works of art rather than just a means of entertainment. The depth of the characters, the game world, and the storytelling deeply affected the players. I am one of them. These were exactly the things that led Half-Life to real success. Today, the game is a classic that stands in an unforgettable place. Isn't that right? I think most of you would agree with this. The success of Half-Life provided an important foundation for Valve to develop Steam. As you know, today Steam is one of the world's largest digital gaming platforms. It might even be the biggest. The amount of money they make is unbelievable. Okay, I'm not going to talk about money in our amazing economy right now, but the foundation of this massive money chain was laid with the Half-Life series. Alright, we've talked up to this point, but considering the importance of the Half-Life series for Valve, now let's talk about why the third game hasn't come out. First, high expectations. So, as I just explained, the Half-Life series is truly of massive importance both for the gaming world and for Valve. Half-Life 1 was groundbreaking in the gaming world upon its initial release. Okay, I know I already said this, but I'm repeating it for this reason. In the same way, thanks to the source engine used in the second game, it had amazing optimization and physics, making it a truly unforgettable game of its era, right? I also want to talk about Half-Life Alyx. I can say it's the best virtual reality game I've played so far. I mean, thanks to the virtual reality technology it uses, it really broke new ground in the gaming world. I mean, mostly in the virtual reality world. So, to put it briefly, a new Half-Life game is really expected to break new ground these days. We know that unless it uses a new technology and is truly a superb production, it will never meet expectations. Half-Life 3, which has been awaited for years, has become so legendary in the eyes of players that even if it could be played directly from your brain with a chip, there would still be a group who wouldn't like it and would say it falls short of expectations. Even at the giant Valve, the third one won't be able to meet expectations and won't be liked. They might not want to release the third game, tarnish the name of the series, and be remembered by players as a series that ended badly. Okay, this is normal so far. I mean, if you ask me, they might be acting with the logic of better late than never. As I just explained, Half-Life 3 is a highly anticipated game with immense expectations. Therefore, making a game like this really doesn't take a short time. According to some players, Half-Life 3 is in development. I'm talking about those leaks. But it's said that they're constantly updating and adding new things to make it much better, because they're afraid it won't meet expectations. Is it logical? Yes. If the game is in development, they might be trying to make the best game possible by acting with the logic of better late than never, instead of rushing to release a game worthy of the Half-Life brand. Now you might ask this question, man, these guys are making a fortune from Steam. Why do they even need a new game? I mean, as you know, Valve makes money from almost every transaction made on Steam, right? They already make millions of dollars from the commissions taken for every skin you sell on the community market, the fees charged for every game placed in the store, and the commissions taken from every sale. When they have such huge revenues, why would they bother releasing a game, especially when it's something as big as Half-Life 3? Why would they spend money on that, right? Considering the fact that a game developed with millions of dollars in expenses will probably not meet expectations, it seems much more logical to maintain and improve the profits they already have rather than making a new game. They might be thinking this way too. There's also the story issue. Perhaps they can't maintain the story's integrity. That could be why Half-Life 3 hasn't been released. By the way, if you've played Half-Life Alyx, you know that at the end of the game we changed the ending of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, right? I explained this in my previous video, thanks to G-Man's manipulations, but let me give a brief summary anyway. At the end of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Alyx, Eli, and Gordon are ambushed by the Combine while heading to the Borealis ship. Eli dies. At the end of Half-Life Alyx, Alyx saves someone she thinks is Gordon Freeman. But this person turns out to be G-Man. Since she saved him, G-Man offers her a wish. Even though Alyx wishes for the world to be cleansed of the Combine, G-Man instead shows Alyx the ending of Episode 2, which is her father's death. And Alyx changes this, so G-Man completely changes the event there through time manipulation. There's a story manipulation here as well. Actually, at the end of Episode 2, the story we know shifts to a completely different universe in Alyx. Maybe it's not coming out because they really couldn't provide the story integrity. Of course, there's one more option. Gabe doesn't know how to count to 3. As you know, there is no third game for any title developed by Valve. Portal 1, Portal 2, but there's no 3. Left 4 Dead 1, 2, but there's no 3. And of course, Half-Life 1, 2, but there's no third one for that either. So in this case, it leads us to the idea that Gabe Newell doesn't know the number 3. Of course, even though it's not a serious theory, the fact that none of the games have a third one is really interesting. Another theory suggests that instead of Half-Life 3, Valve might release a completely new game, which could be a secret principle of the company. Because the story can't be kept whole, and expectations can never be met, if Valve releases a Half-Life game, it might not be Half-Life 3. So, it could still be under the Half-Life brand, but instead of being a continuation of the series, it might be a brand new and completely different game. Considering the situation Valve is facing, releasing a new Half-Life game instead of making Half-Life 3 is a much more profitable and logical move. That's why many people argue that if Valve is going to release a new game under the Half-Life name, it will be a new game, not Half-Life 3. And there's another theory about why Half-Life 3 hasn't been released, the escape door. So, as I mentioned earlier, Valve is making crazy amounts of money through Steam. That's why they're not bothering with developing games. But if one day things go badly financially for Steam, which I really don't think will happen, and the company feels close to bankruptcy, they could escape this situation with a few exit strategies. And that exit strategy is Half-Life 3. When we look at it, it's a fact that if the game were released today, it would potentially have millions of buyers. So, in such a bankruptcy scenario, if Valve releases this game, the revenue from its sales could help the company recover or at least save it from going under. For this reason, they might be keeping Half-Life 3 as an escape route. So, these are the most basic and logical theories about why Half-Life 3 hasn't been released. Which theory do you think is the closest, man? I'm really curious. Write it in the comments and let's discuss. Seriously. I mean, you can also add your own ideas and stuff. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comments about why it hasn't been released. By the way, if you like videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel. I'd also appreciate a nice like if you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.